Hi everybody, welcome back to the next airport update, and this is going to be, as requested, a retro edition of San Francisco International Airport, and it's going to be set in around 2005, slightly more modern than a couple of the other recent updates, but nevertheless still retro enough to include quite a few aircraft that we don't no longer see anymore. So without further ado, let's get started. We'll start off at the regional gates, obviously, as this is a hub for United, so we'll start off with the regional gates at Terminal A, which is the United terminal. So to start with, we have a United shuttle 737-300. This is still in the old battleship grey livery, and this has arrived in from Portland, and the baggage is currently being taken off the plane to the terminal building, and the passengers are disembarking. If we move to gate A2, then we have a United Express E145, and this is going to be departing out quite shortly for a flight to Las Vegas, and this will be pushed back soon now all the passengers have just finished boarding. And at gate 3 of the regional terminal, the final regional aircraft we have here today, we have a United Express CRJ 200, and this is going to be heading for a flight out to LAX, a short hop across. Again, this is the sort of the hop flight between the two United hubs of the West Coast, and again, this one's just waiting for final passengers, and then we'll be ready to go. If we now move to the main side of the terminal, the more sort of domestic and international, we then find ourselves. We'll come round this side to start with. We have a United 777-200, and this will be has arrived in from Hong Kong, and it's currently had all the passengers off, and it's currently in between flights. It is being catered around the other side, and then it will be heading for its next flight. At gate number 2 of the main terminal, gate B2, we have a United 737-500. Now this is just being pushed back, and it will be heading out for a flight to Denver, Colorado. And this is going to be first in line for departure once pushback is complete, and then we'll be heading out to Denver, as we've said. At the third gate of this terminal, we have a United 763. This is, it's in mixture. It's still in the battleship grey livery, but it's in the Star Alliance version of that they had, with some of the other Star Alliance airlines that were involved back in the day. This is currently having the passengers disembark the aircraft, and the luggage, you can see, is making its way around to the terminal building. This has arrived in from Houston, and round the other side, similar to the 777, it's currently being catered for its return flight later on. If we move to gate 4, we have a United 757-200, and this has arrived in from Chicago O'Hare, another United hub. It's currently between flights at the moment. The jet bridge is attached, ready for passengers later on, and it's currently being refueled, ready for its next flight. On to the corner, gate number 5 of this main terminal, we have another United 777-200, this time in the new blue tulip livery, and this is going to be heading out to Sydney, Australia. It's currently having passengers loaded, and it's currently finished getting all the not quite finished getting all the baggage loaded at the front there, as we can see if we move around, and it'll then be pushing back for Sydney relatively shortly. This is the sort of the once daily flight from Sydney. Just in front here we have another United 777 in the blue tulip livery. This is on the taxiway and is second in line for departure after the 737 that's currently on pushback ahead. This is going to be heading out to Honolulu, on the classic San Francisco Honolulu route that United have flown for many years. And this is going to be second in line for departure. Moving back to the main terminal, next up after the 777s, we have a United A320 in the old Battleship Grey livery still. This is going to be heading out to Phoenix. It's currently, as the 777 having the passengers and the bags currently loaded. We can see a bit better around the other side. If we move around, we can see there. Oops, just knocked the northwest off course. And there we go. Okay, if we then move to the next gate, so now we've left the United terminal and we're now moving into the other gates. So we have a Continental 777-200. This is currently going to be having some scheduled maintenance relatively shortly, so it's currently just parked up at this gate that was empty. There's air stairs attached for sort of engineers to get on and off, and the tug's attached ready to push it back and then transport it to its hangar to undergo some routine maintenance. On the taxiway, just behind the Continental 777, we have a Northwest 757-300, and this is third in line for departure following the United 777 to the runway. This is going to be heading out for a flight to Minneapolis-St. Paul, and third in line for departure. And we'll do the final taxiway now while we're here. And the final taxiway, we have a Alaska 737-200. This is following the Northwest and all the others to the runway, and we'll be heading out for a short hop flight over to Seattle. Back to the terminal. Second part of the main terminal now is more sort of domestic and international carriers. So first up we have a Continental 737-800, and this is arrived in from Denver and is currently having passengers have just finished getting off the plane, and the luggage and the freight is making its way to the terminal and to the cargo centres, and then it's currently undergoing recatering ready for its next flight. Up at gate number 9 we have an American 767-200, which has arrived in from Dallas-Fort Worth. This is between flights at the moment, so the jet bridge is attached ready for passengers for its next flight, and there's not really any more servicing going on, as it's just in between flights at the moment. If we move round to the final one for this side, we have the Singapore 747-400. This is going to be heading out for a flight to Singapore later on. It's currently undergoing heavy servicing. Final few bags are being loaded, quite a bit of cargo has been loaded, and the cargo trucks are just finishing off. And then the jet bridge is attached ready to start to receive passengers very shortly. Then this will be heading out for its flight to Singapore. If we move around the other side of the terminal, just to capture those three last aircraft, we have at gate number 11, we have a Japan 777-300, and this has arrived in from Tokyo Narita and is currently having the bags finished being unloaded from the aircraft. Passengers are currently disembarking the aircraft as well into the terminal building, and then this will be having a return flight back to Tokyo later on this evening. And the penultimate gate for the main terminal, we have a Virgin Atlantic Airbus A340-300, and this is currently on pushback, and it will be heading out to London Gatwick, making its daily return flight back there. And the final aircraft for the main terminal building, we have a Varig MD-11, and this has arrived in from Sao Paulo in Brazil, and is currently, it's had its luggage unloaded, it's had its freight taken off, it's currently being recatered, and the passengers are all off. It's currently being recatered, ready for its return flight back to Brazil later on. So that's the main terminal complete. we'll just head round now to 3 more gates. Not necessarily hard stands, but not main terminal stands. So up the edge we have a Northwest DC-10, and this is going to be heading out for a flight to Minneapolis St. Paul later on this evening. First load of passengers have arrived in the bus and are going to be boarding the aircraft, and then that'll be going back to the terminal to get the next lot of passengers, and it'll continue like that until it's ready to go. At the middle gate we have a Delta MD-11, and this has arrived in from Atlanta. It's currently just had some baggage taken off, which is going to be heading to the terminal, and then more bags will be taken off. The coach is ready and the 2 sets of air stairs are attached as the passengers disembark the aircraft currently. And the final commercial, or civil, shall we say, aircraft of the update is a Hawaiian 767-300, and this is going to be departing for Honolulu relatively soon. It's just having final catering loaded, and then the stairs are ready to start receiving, set up ready and connected to start receiving passengers shortly for its hop back over the Pacific to Honolulu. And then at the cargo terminal we have four gates, one of which is empty, but we have 3 aircraft on the stands. So in for the front of shot we have a World Airways MD-11, and this will be heading out to Miami relatively soon. Final bits of cargo have been loaded, the final truck is just finishing up and then will be cleared out of the way, and then this aircraft can push back and join the queue for the runway and hop over to Miami to the East Coast. In the centre we have a UPS MD-11, and this is arrived in from Louisville. Cargo is currently being unloaded into the truck. There's a jet bridge attached for the pilots to get off and some of the other crew members to get on and off the aircraft, and this will be unloading for a reasonably long time. And then the final aircraft of this update, we have a KLM Cargo 747-400. This is currently on pushback and will follow the Alaska 737 to the runway, and this will be heading out for a cargo flight back over to Amsterdam, and then we'll return in the morning back from Amsterdam. So that is the update complete. Hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know down below in the comments what you think. Like, comment and subscribe below if you haven't already, and check out the Instagram channel for the next update, or the voting for the next update of where we want to go next. And as always, bye guys.